Hello and welcome to Model Railroading for Dummies, the how-to show for regular model railroaders just like me. Now, today we are going to continue working on the pond that we started last episode. So today we are going to be finishing the ballasting, and we're going to be making some reed grass or cattails using this sisal twine. So, that's the plan. Let's get down to it right now. Okay, so as you see, I have been able to finish doing this area here since the last episode. Now, first step, we're going to finish ballasting this track here. Otherwise, it will start getting in the way. So, what I am going to do is take a small spoonful of stuff. Try not to spill too much. This is what you get for trying to model over a camera. Just try and get a nice look to it. Take it in slowly. If it doesn't have to be perfect yet, because when we smoothed it in a bit, then hopefully we can fill up the cracks and stuff. Okay, now that's that side done. So now I'm going to take the secret weapon for model railroaders who ballast. The 1-inch foam paintbrush. Now, first of all, knock it off that. So I'm not sure how well you can see that. First, what you do is just knock it off the ties. It's just rare that there's any ballast on ties. Okay, now, normally you'd come in like this because you got that nice beveled angle. But I ain't got that privilege of room, so I just gotta sort of do the best I can this way to have a nice beveled edge. And then there's a couple spots there that need a slight touch-up. Come in with a little bit. Tap it in. There. There. There, that looks good. Now let's do the other side. The other side, being right next to the wall, it's not nearly so critical. It's mainly just to get a basic look to it. Doesn't have to be perfect because no one's going to see it. Okay, the closer you get to here, the better you'll want to get it ballasted, because you're more likely to be able to see if it's not quite filled in. Just knocked over the glue on my foot. Although that ain't the worst I've had today or yesterday. Past 2 days we've been shearing sheep. Man, you ever tried to drag around something that weighs 100 pounds more than you do? Some of those ewes, man, they got a lot of push into them and a lot of weight. Of course, when you get a heavy ewe to begin, a big heavy ewe to begin with, then you get 2 or 3 lambs inside of them, because they're going to be start lambing next week. It'll be lambing for the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. So you get those lambs inside of them. get big heavy coat of wool, then get some disposition attached to it. And as you can see from the camera, I am not exactly blessed with a lot of weight to push around them. So yeah, it was fun. I'm sore. Of course, you use muscles that you never use. Sheared 83 sheep. 60 yesterday and 23 today. So this, I think this is a good reward. Doing some model railroading for all that heavy lifting, or heavy pushing really. Heavy tossing, heavy dragging. Man, yesterday there's this one ewe. She was long, tall, wide, and full of lamb. Yeah, this ewe, she was just... yeah, she was big, and when you flipped her over on her rear end so that he could shear her, it's like try and drag that thing to the spot where it needs to be. Well nigh impossible. Yeah, she was one big old gal. There was one today. Man, she was big. Fortunately, she did not fight it too much. I don't know how I could have gotten her through if she had actually put up a decent fight. But I mean, those ewes, when they, with that weight, if they decide they want to go somewhere, they can pretty much do it if they so choose and charge. Unless you can steady yourself with a post or a gate or something. Yeah, that one this morning, she had a belly on her. I'm sure she has triplets in her. I hope no more than triplets. I mean, we've had quadruplets before, but we prefer not. We had set last year the smallest ewe. I was only expected twins, maybe triplets. So we had to take care of those four. Belonged to my brother. Yeah, and that she didn't have enough milk for one lamb. It was her last year. Obviously, if they don't have enough milk for... Usually we want them to have enough milk for about 2.5 lambs. And since she didn't have enough for one, she had to be sold. So we had to bottle feed all 4 of them. We left them on the mother so that they can, what little she had, they can fight over. The one was actually in the house for one night. You know, Dad went out there in the morning. He saw you with a set of triplets. It's like, oh, locked her up in an individual pen so that they could be taken care of. He went back and found a lamb that was well nigh dead, almost frozen. He kind of nudged it with his foot, and he saw he moved and put it up in front of the heater, warmed it up, and brought it in. He got the name of Wake Up. He had a nice set of lungs to him. He woke me and my sister up in the middle of the night. He was lonely and hungry. Oh, he went out the next day. Okay, I'm back. Had to stop to milk and to have supper. Okay, so we have laid down the ballast and put down the glue. So now, next step will be to put in the reeds. aka the twine strings. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to bump the camera. Trying to make room for this stuff. Okay, I've got a cap here that I'm using to put this white glue in, if I could get it out. Okay, I think I finally got, there we go. Cats are got some glue or something stuck in them. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Now I've got some green and I got some brown. So let's see if we can get this in the frame. Barely. Okay, so here's the stuff we're using. Now it's approximately a ½ inch tall, give or take. Now, it's a little hard to show you here, but I'm going to try and get a mix, if you know what I mean. So just a little bit. This is not going real well, unfortunately. I'm going to try and get approximately, okay, then dip it in full strength glue and then stick it in there. Now we could trim it up later and vacuum up all the stuff that's not in. But yeah, just put it in like that, a little bit at a time. Dip it in the glue. Try and get it relatively straight. Okay, go for a little bit of green now. Okay, that looks good. Okay, try and go for about 2/3 brown, 1/3 green. Because this is fall, and it'd be more of a brownish color at this time of year. Well, it's getting there after a real shaky start. Okay. There, getting there. There, so you can kind of see how it's getting that nice reedy-ish type look to it. I've got a lot of reeds to put in. This basically the entire area back here is going to be reeds. I mean, it's going to have not much more in here, just to give it a little bit of 2D sheet back in there. But I'm going to want some up around here and up around here. That's where we're going to use a lot of the stuff. Okay, let's get a dab of green here. Okay, dip it in. Gonna be needing a lot more glue. One thing it was a mistake, more or less, but it's kind of looking nice. It's kind of ragged how I'm getting these in. has a nice, real ragged look about it. But I'm really liking the raggedy look I'm getting out of that. It looks wild. What do you know? Dumb people can get lucky at times. Even when screwing up. Okay, once again, go back a little bit to that green. There wasn't a lot. I ended up getting more brown on that one. Need more glue. So what I'm doing to hold these things in is I got one of those foam plates for like picnics or what potlucks or whatnots. And that's what I'm using to hold it in. The one with the little compartments. So that way it kind of helps contain the stuff. Now that last one there that I put in, you can see it's still kind of in its original rope-ish shape. But even so, by getting a little bit of ragged piece right next to it, it kind of hides the fact that some of these still look like just a little bit like twine rope. You just get a little bit of a mix in there. And she actually doesn't look half bad. It really does it is really starting to look like it's marshy ground back there. Which is exactly the look I'm looking for. Because, you know, as you can probably tell, this is very narrow back in here. So I'm trying to hide that fact by giving just a little bit of a 2D shape in it. Just give the impression. That's what model routing's all about. Trying to fool the eye. And just knowing when to say something's good enough. Now, I got a little black paint there on the nice wall, blue wall. Not realistic, but man, these cattails and reeds, they'll hide that up. Once again, sometimes you make a mistake and you use something else to cover it up. And sometimes something else doesn't look half bad. And actually improves it. So now I'm going to need to do about one more row in front of that. And then that would be done. You get a little bit shorter ones up front here. Okay, there's a little bit too much brown. Now we go for a dab of green. There. It just gives a little bit of depth. And believe me, I am just doing this by eye. It's not going in as easily as I had thought, but it's actually looking a little bit better. So what I'm going to do after I finally get all these glued in, then I'm going to take a scissors and trim those real tall ones. I'm almost out of glue already again. So I'll trim the tall ones, not to get a uniform cut shape, but just prevent it from looking like, man, that's a tall reed right over there or something. Yeah, there. So, let's see, I think I'm going to need to Need more glue. Okay, I need some green. So you don't want it even. Like, last thing you want to do is 2 tufts brown, 1 tuft green. 2 tufts brown, 1 tuft green. Now where I am trying to go for approximately 2 to 1 ratio, or somewhere in there. You don't want to make it look like it's too obvious. As in real life, you will never see anything like that. It's just all nice and varied. Just make sure you get a good gob on there so it can catch a hold of. Oh man, my arm's getting tired again reaching around the camera. I know, just looking at the camera of what you're seeing, it's like, man, and that's a whole lot better on camera than it does in real life. Just really has a nice, reedy, weedy, cattailish look to it. I mean, and this stuff cost me nothing. Unless you count actually hauling the bales and stuff cost. I mean, that's the only cost it cost me. This came off of bales. I mean, usually we use the plastic stuff, but you know, for some, occasionally we use the sisal stuff, and this is the stuff. I mean, it just gives a nice cattail. Now, see, I want a pinch of brown because it's just, I don't know if you see this, but it's kind of getting that brown green, brown green, brown green. It's getting that brown green look. It's looking too distinct. So if we take just a pinch of brown with what glue we have left, and we put just a little here in front of there. Let's see, I had a tweezers here at one point. Okay, I'll just use this stick here. It's kind of leaning over. Just see if I can tease it up a little bit. If all else fails, I could just put some little bushes right at the bottom there, just to hide the fact that some of these are kind of floating in the air. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish the rest of this. I'll put a whole bunch of cattails on this little mound area, plus in the back, and a little bit up front, and set a little bit right along here. And then when we come back, I'll show you how I'll trim it. Okay, that's going to be it for today's episode. Next time, I'm going to have the rest of those reeds, cattails put in. And then I'll trim them off. And then vacuum them up. And then put in any details we may want. Then the time after that, we'll be putting in the water. Oh, please be successful, please be successful, please be successful. Because unlike a lot of other things in life, or in model railroading, this water stuff doesn't come out as easy. It's more expensive too. So, that's the goals. So, I'm real tired going around that camera like this. Especially when your arm is sore from 83 U's in 2 days. Well, in any case, feel free to like, subscribe, and if you see any problems that I may have, or give me some tips, leave them in the comment section. Please be nice about it. I'm learning here. I've never done a YouTube channel before. Just trying to help you and help myself. So, if you liked the video, leave a comment, leave a helpful suggestion, and I'll see you next time. Keep your train on the tracks.